Hi, I'm Bob Moncur and you're watching Newcastle Fans TV.
Hello everybody, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. Sorry my voice is a bit croaky, I had a night out last night, but you know, it was good. So I'm not going to talk about all of the game because you would have seen the highlights most just by now and the goals and so on. Let's get the lineup, how Newcastle lined up. So it was blistering 28 degrees, it wasn't easy for Newcastle. So went with Carl Darlow in goal, that's because Elliott was feeling unwell, that's why he wasn't available. Yedlin at right back, Florian Lejeune and Kieran Clark playing in the middle, and it was Paul Dummett at left back. Diarmi starting alongside Colback in the defensive midfield role. We'll come on to Diarmi later on, and Mitrovic up top. Jamal Lascelles is missing, of course, he'll be back next week, Rafa was saying. We did see a substitution after 27 minutes when DeAndre Yedlin. Rafa didn't want to risk it, it's pre-season. I think it's the right thing to do when he was feeling his hamstring a little bit tight, so he brought on Manquillo. More on him in a moment. So Newcastle didn't really get off the start, the 4-2-3-1 formation. They didn't really get off a great start, did they, to be fair. You know, it was very neat play, very quick by Mainz on the left of midfield coming in towards centre, and that left Mo Diarmi out of position. Now Mo Diarmi is not naturally a defensive midfielder, and he's out of position, and then a through ball finds Paul Dummett sleeping, and there's Austin Ollie to put Mainz 1-0 up. And you have to say Paul Dummett was a bit asleep there, and I know he's got his critics, but it wasn't very clever, it wasn't great marking. You have to say that obviously Newcastle in the first half have had a couple of half chances. Mitrovic wasted one, De Jong had an effort, Carl Darlow made a great save against Victor Fisher, which we'll come on to in a moment. And then at half time, you've seen a lot of the changes, didn't you? You've seen the likes of Jesus Gamas, Chanson Bemba, Aaron, Shelvey, coming on, and you've seen Dummett and Clark and Richie taken off. And there was more subs later on. You know, you've seen, I mean, let's put it on the screen for you. This is what Newcastle lined up later on. We're seeing the lineup such as it was Freddie Woodman, Manquillo at right back, and Bemba, and Merino, who come on later on in the game. He played at centre back just so Rafa can get some minutes because he hasn't got any. You're not naturally centre back, you can't fill in there, but you just get him some minutes for pre-season. Jesus Gamas at left back, Shelvey and Hayden were in the middle, Atsu was on the right, Aarons was on the left, Prez the 10 and Gale up top. And you know when Atsu, speaking of Atsu, he burst down the right, beat his man, Mainz couldn't clear, and then it felt to Jesus Gamas of all people getting his first goal for Newcastle, unfortunately to go down as unofficially, but he has it looked fairly weak, his side foot shot, which then looped over and dropped in off the post, hits, and the goalkeeper kind of say it was a little bit bamboozled. I think that was a little fortunate by Newcastle is to put it like that, you know. And later on, Woodman was fantastic, stopped Fisher on a volley, palms it wide, but Newcastle didn't learn the lesson from the first goal. Again, Mainz neat build up on the right, comes towards the edge of the box, towards the centre, through ball, Manquillo's asleep, another poor full-back marking. And then Fisher does a fantastic finish, bottom corner, the former Ajax winger. It was a great finish, but suspect defended by Newcastle all over again, you know. Let's see what Rafa said. This is what Rafa said about the game.
When you play these kind of games, what you want is to improve the fitness of the team. You want to be sure that everybody understand what we want to do. And then I think we started more or less well, I would say, in terms of organisation and pressing. But then we didn't regain, and we gave them the chance to play counter-attack and score. So something that we can improve. At the same time, we have some good play. We were defending sometimes well, and sometimes not so well. So that is precision. You have to adjust things. The second half, a little bit more pace, a little bit more intensity, and we have some chances. I think overall it's a precision game that you have to consider was positive in a lot of things, and even the bad things you have to work on that. So that is something that you can see here, and then you can improve and prepare the team a little bit better for the league games. And things take.
So yeah, it is pre-season. It's no massive alarm bells at the moment, you know, but we're going to talk about a few things that we have learned, so to speak, about the game, because I think you always learn more when you get beat rather than the winning. So I think without Dwight Gale, we'll look a different side. In the Championship, we had Daryl Murphy, who performed the second half of the season, and we haven't got that. But no disrespect, I know Murphy's been sold, but Mitrovic, some games he looks brilliant, other games he looks like he's... Today, for example, he was squabbling with De Jong. It's frustrating, it is, but I think we need another striker in there because without Gale, we'll look a different side. just didn't seem up for it, Mitrovic. More Diarmi in that defensive midfield role. Now, in all the pre-season games so far, Rafa has played him there. It looks like he's going to be in his new position for this season. I think he probably looks better there, but I think there's still a lot of improvement that Diarmi is going to have to work on. If we're under the caution, we can bring the ball out from defensive midfield. I'd rather have Diarmi than Colback, of course, but he's still learning, and we probably are going to see a few more errors from Diarmi. I just want to touch on the goals as well. Dummett and Manquillo are asleep for both of the goals, leaving their wingers free, and they both score. We're playing against a higher opposition. This isn't like a Championship side or a League One side. This is a Bundesliga side who have established. Jurgen Klopp's been with them, and but we're going up against a higher quality opposition. You've got to do better. You've got to be more switched on. Yes, making mistakes in pre-season. Come the Premier League, mistakes like that need to be cut out as well. 4-2-3-1. Yes, it's been here and there small tweaks, but has Rafa got a backup? How we got the players is another question, because if we keep going 4-2-3-1, we're going to be found out pretty quick. Yes, it might work in some games, but I think you do need a plan B. Where's your plan B? Can you play two up top? That's the question for me towards Rafa. I still think we need new signings. I mean, a lot of signings for me are squad players. Yes, we're bargain hunting and it's difficult, it's frustrating, but clearly we need a striker in. I think clearly, because as I mentioned, without Dwight Gale, we'll look a different side. Rolando Aarons, so just speaking on the positive, Rolando Aarons is looking really, really sharp in pre-season. When he come on, he was beating his men, and we just hope that he stays injury-free, because he was actually really, really good beating his man. Now, I'm just going to come off the first team. I want to talk about the under-23s. As you know, we're going to be covering the under-23s a lot more on this channel. They beat AZ 4-1 thanks to, again, our man Ivan Toney, who I said I rate him. That's 5 goals in the last 2 games for Ivan Toney for the under-23s, and when also Sangora scored as well when Newcastle won. But Ivan Toney's the talk of the tune quite literally at the minute for the under-23s. I keep saying he needs a challenge, that he needs to go to the Championship side at least, because I think he's too good for the under-23s, and he needs that next test. Similar to how we loaned Adam Armstrong to Barnsley in the Championship to go up to the next level. I think Toney needs that. He's on fire at the moment. I think Dan Barleza, he was superb in that 4-1 win. Very controlling midfielder, playing deep, spraying balls, lovely through balls, and having a licence to get forward when needed. That reminds you of someone, doesn't it, in the first team? Very similar to John Joe Shelby. Just speaking of the under-23s, this is how they lined up, It was Harker in goal, Newby at right back, Yarney and Gillespie in the middle. It was Cameron at left back, Hunt and Barleza were the 2 deep line midfielders. Charman on the right, Fernandez on the left, Roberts as the 10, Ivan Toney as a striker. And of course there was several changes later on. As I mentioned in a couple of other videos, that Newcastle's under-23s, 8 centre-backs have a lot of competition. It was our first real good look at Yarney today, and he looks like a bit of a no-nonsense defender. He'll just kick it out. He's one of those kind of old-school English defenders, whereas O'Connor, the other one who didn't feature today, yesterday it was, he likes to bring the full ball out of defence. Kind of similar to Rio Ferdinand, likes to bring it out. He's more of a ball-playing defender. Newcastle have great competition there with Finley, Stuart Finley, Owen Bailey, and we've still got Macaulay Gillespie, who's played in the final. He's still at the club. However, the future for Curtis Good doesn't look great. He's 24. He wasn't featured in none of the 2 games, and it's rumoured that he's speaking to an Eredivisie side as well. But yeah, that's the coverage of the 2 games. I want to know what you think of what lessons we're going to be learned. Of course, the under-23s as well. If you've got a keen eye on them, let us know as well. Apologise, I'm a little bit hungover. Not massively, my voice is a bit croaky, but I'm going to leave you with a couple of clips from the under-23s winning the trophy. I know it's only pre-season, but it's still nice. Right, see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'll have a safe journey on, ladies and gentlemen.